And very shortly the light will go out, and it does so, and it's a better start from Dan Sylvester from the second of the grid. Phil Wright very slow away, down to about 5th position, I think, as they head into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Jack Ashton's gone pretty well in his Metro, but he runs quite wide over the concrete on the outside there. But they go up towards the hairpin at Druids for the first time then, and it is Dan Sylvester that's leading, Ryan Polly second, and I think in third place it looks like the Metro of Jack Ashton. They come down to Graham Hill Bend. It's Will Self in 4th and Phil Wright, after that poor start, in 5th position.
Yeah, very, very bunched to the middle as well, but Sylvester made a cracking getaway from the outside. You can see the car pogoing through Surtees there, and has a lead of several lengths, and there's Ashton here under attack, going through on the inside. Looks like he's going to lose that position, but it's Sylvester out front as they go up to complete the first lap. But coming back at him, I sense, is Polly in the blue car.
As Phil Wright has gone third, he's gone around the outside of both Jack Ashton and Will Self there through Clark Curve, and he's made that move stick there. You can see the battle on screen now at Paddock Hill Bend. So Phil Wright, after that very poor start, back to third, but Ashton trying to go around the outside of him at Druids, the hairpin there. Can't quite make it work. Might leave the door open again for Will Self. But here are the first two. They're quite a long way clear of the rest. They were 3 seconds ahead at the end of the first lap. Dan Sylvester, number 37, the Yorkshire driver, and Ryan Polly, former Stock Hatch champion and Clio champion, in second place.
And Polly takes yards out of him through the middle of that Surtees flick-flack there. And running out wide, you can see the momentum building in the Polly car. Sylvester is going to be under attack by the time they come up to Paddock Bend, as they complete their second lap, go into the third, and it is still Sylvester, but he's having to work really hard now to repel Ryan Polly, the double winner from Donington Park.
Yeah, absolutely right. Gap backs then to third. Philip Wright now is just over 3 seconds, never 4 seconds, actually 3.75. I can tell you in Class B, it's number 69, Matthew Mandipira, that's got ahead of Joel Arguelles there in the battle of the Clios. And Class C, it's Martin Paget in 13th place overall that's taken the lead in his Citroen Saxo. But here are the overall leaders. You can see how Philip Wright's now pulling away from Jack Ashton. It's James Alford now up to 5th place, Will Self down to 6th. But can Phil Wright reel in these two leaders, Sylvester and Polly?
Well, a better lap from Sylvester this time round. He's managed to eke out a couple more lengths advantage. You can see how far behind the next group is. But there's Polly in the bright blue car in the middle of your screens again. Brakes later, uses all the road going up into Paddock, and a 53.79 for Philip Wright in third place. That's only, 400ths of a second outside his own lap record.
Yeah, and it's brought him another half a second closer to Sylvester and Polly, as well as Ben Morton and Jack Ashton there are doing battle. Morton not appearing on our timing screens, I don't think so. I wonder if he's got a transponder issue, but he is there right behind Jack Ashton and ahead of James Alford there. And now the Integra having a look at the inside, going into Surtees, but Jack Ashton can really pedal that Metro very well indeed and stays ahead of the slightly more modern car. That's the 69 car of Matthew Mandipira, our Class B leader. Now, he's not got that much of a gap back to Joel Arguelles, who's second within that class. Here's this battle going on for what is 4th position, Marcus.
Yeah, it's got much more grunt, hasn't it, in the straight line, but Ashton won't be deterred in the braking area, because the little Metro, which sits down so low, and I remember the Metro's first appearing back in the early 80s on the road, and they didn't used to corner like this, not in road going trim anyway, but Ashton's is very, very well set up. And you can see there, he's got the Integra past him, and then coming up behind is 116 James Alford there in that vibrant kind of lime-coloured Honda, and little Peugeot's in behind him. That's Will Self. A long way back then to Tate Taverner, who hasn't really made the progress we'd have expected, given that he was really quick in practice before losing some positions. Yeah,
55.73 he did on the last lap, a best of 55.30. The best lap of the race now to Philip Wright, 53.48, so he has gone underneath his own lap record now. He's done a 53.59 on the next lap as well, so he is closing down the two leaders now. We'll have to watch out for number 63, Philip Wright, catching up on the top two. Meanwhile, this is the battle of 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. All of these in Class A, and the variety of different types of cars that you have there, absolutely fantastic to behold. There's Will Self, been racing at Castle Coombe a little while, but has decided to spread his wings for this season. Had a win in a 750 Motor Club Hot Hatch race at Castle Coombe last year, and has decided to come back and experience a greater variety of circuits this season.
Yeah, we've got that mystery car without the transponder, which is sitting behind Philip Wright, and we'll see that come through. The leaders are going through again. Here's that battle though, with Ashton hanging on really well from Alford and Self. 3 more different cars in this field you couldn't find. And the modern-ish Honda under attack from the little Peugeot, which smokes, and the exhaust loose on the Peugeot, and Will Self's exhaust is bouncing up and down. I think the strap's given way.
Yes, that might well attract the attention of the officials, and he might see the meatball flag, and indeed I can see the black flag with the orange spot being shown. I suspect that is going to be to Will Self, number 34 there. The car shown as 5:01 on the timing tower, for those of you watching on the live stream, that is the Ben Morton number 67 Honda Integra that's got track position in 4th place. It's now pulled away a little bit from Jack Ashton. Take Taverner there, you can see that very colourful number 22 Honda Civic, now closing I think a little bit on the Will Self, James Alford and Jack Ashton battle, and he's about a couple of seconds clear of Scott Smith, who's next. There's Will Self heading into the pits. He's obviously seen the flag markers.
Yeah, he's spotted that really well, because he may even hear it bottoming at some places on the circuit, but he's come in to get that checked and probably won't be back out, unfortunately. But it's that Ashton and Alford tussle, the purple Metro, sort of almost Princess Diana purple Metro, isn't it? Being chased by Alford in the vivid green Honda.
Okay, it is still in Class B. Matthew Mann Depere ahead, but Joel Arguelles has now got a Class A car between himself and the Class lead. That's Sean Green between the two of them. Class C, that's being led by Callum Perfect now, so he's got his way ahead of Martin Paget. So perhaps if we can pick up that battle at some point, the battle for 15th, with cars 65, 20 and 98 all involved in pretty close proximity there as well. That's the battle for the Class C lead. And I think that's the battle we've just picked up now. Yes, it is. And it's changed around again because Martin Paget in the Saxo is back ahead of the BMW of Callum Perfect there. The BMW 318 Ti Compact that runs within Class C. You've got another of those cars just behind as well. Paul Warren also racing in the BMW. Obviously very successful in this category in the hands of David Drinkwater for quite a few seasons now. Black and white driving standards flag, by the way, going out to car 16, which is Ben Piper in his Honda Civic Type R.
So there are 1 or 2 rear drive cars in the field, the BMWs, but the vast majority front drive. And there's the leader charging his way through, and it's Polly ahead of Sylvester at the head of this pack at 9 laps in.
Yeah, and the lead group just on our screen now, just heading up towards Druids, the hairpin. We'll see if we can pick that up again, because Philip Wright now is right with the leaders as well. So there's Ryan Polly now in the lead of the race. Number 36, he's got ahead of Daniel Sylvester. He's just putting a lap on the David Measday car, but you can see now there, just in the background of shot, wait for that to come through. There, well, we're just watching the back marker ahead of Polly. There is Polly now in the lead, but just behind him you'll have Sylvester, and now Philip Wright right with them as well in the number 63 car. But that's Polly on our screens with the Mac Tools livery. He is heading his way through to the completion of another lap, and there is the second place car, then a back marker, and then it's the third place car of Philip Wright, just
that's right,
heading into Paddock Hill Bend.
Wright's dived down the inside of the lapped car, so not wishing to be left too far behind. We've still got, what, another 6 minutes or so of this race to run, and Polly with a lead of 0.6 of a second over Dan Sylvester. Here is Polly in that 36 car, and there's Sylvester going around the outside of the VW Corrado. That's an unusual beast in this field.
It is. Stuart Kennedy's been campaigning that car for a few seasons with mixed fortunes, I think it's fair to say. Just been up to lap another VW. That's the Polo of Warren Andrews, I think, for a second at least.
Well, that's the one that was in the gravel this morning at Clearways, wasn't it?
And it certainly keeping well out of the way of the leaders as they come through. To complete lap number 11 now, 5 minutes to go, so they'll probably get 6 more laps out of this, given that the lap times are 53, 54 seconds per lap, so they should get 6 more laps out of it to make a 17 lap race. There's the first 3 heading through Paddock Hill Bend up towards Druids once again, and that is the Ryan Polly number 36 car in the lead.
Yeah, that's a very, very nicely turned out car. The number 36, not the 306, the famous George Polly number, but a family which sticks to its numbers in different forms. And Ryan Polly, who leads the way from Dan Sylvester. There's the Integra, the white Honda Integra, coming up the inside into Surtees, alongside the 55 there.
That's David Measday, who's a lap down in the Corsa with its bright yellow wheels. So Morton there in 4th position, still there on the road, although he's disappeared against the timing tower. Jack Ashton, excuse me, 5th in the Metro, James Alford 6th in the green Civic. There's Morton turning his way through Paddock Hill Bend. He's just coming up to lap a couple of the Class C cars there. There's Ashton going quite wide over the curbs at Paddock Hill Bend. And that's the yellow and black car you could see was Dan Brown. Now, where's he got up to?
6th place, 45.
Now 7th.
But 7th with the car that's missing.
Yeah, that's there. But that's a great result from him, because he obviously come through from the back of the grid after the issues he had. So he started 33rd and is now running in 7th place. So great drive this from Dan Brown. He's done a 54.13 during the course of this race.
But the battle for the lead continues. But here's another battle down the order. That is Morton, isn't it, going through? But the leader certainly elsewhere is under attack.
Yeah, they're heading up towards Druids now, the 3 leaders together, and it's Dan Sylvester up the inside of Ryan Polly. The 2 of them are side by side now, as you can see on the screen, and it is Polly just about fending off Dan Sylvester as they head down towards Graham Hill Bend. They're just coming up to lap the Class C lead battle as well, just to add complexity to the situation. Martin Paget, I think, ahead of that battle at the moment. Yes, he is in his Saxo, ahead of Callum Perfect in the BMW. And we've got the 3 leads now right together, the Class A and overall leaders. And now Sylvester leaves the door open for Phil Wright there on the inside as they come towards Clark Curve. Is he going to go through?
He's been hung up to dry, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he has. So it looks like Wright's going to squeeze his way through to 2nd place. Later on the brakes, though, is Dan Sylvester,
who locks the rear wheel, inside rear wheel, twice going into paddock.
Wow, great stuff this. So Phil Wright still not got 2nd place sealed, has he? And he won't do, because Sylvester moves across in front of him. I think there may have been a little bit of contact there between the 2 as they turned into Druids that time. It's allowing Polly to make a little bit of an escape now of about 4 or 5 car lengths, but Sylvester holds on. But I think we might see some damage now on the front of Phil Wright's car when we get to a look from the right angle. But it's helped Polly this to make a bit of an escape. We've got a minute and a half or so left to go.
White's on the tail. I think there is some damage at the front of his car, isn't there? And Sylvester cuts through on the inside of the yellow car. And yes, there's damage on the front of that one as well. Yeah,
I think that's matching damage. As Phil right now has a look at the inside as they go into Paddock Hill Bend, but he can't carry enough speed through there to make it up into 2nd place. They're just over a second now behind the leader. I think there'll be 1 more lap to go at the end of this one. Can Ryan Polly hold on? I suspect he might be able to. As Sylvester in 2nd and Philip White 3rd. Just to say, in Class B, it's still Matthew Mandipira ahead of Joel Arguelles, and Class C, still Martin Paget ahead of Callum Perfect and Paul Warren. But we're sticking with the Class A battle, which has got just over a lap left to run.
Yep, and inside rear wheel lifting. They're getting closer again. That's not 1.13 seconds between the 1st and 2nd at that point. So they are maintaining their chase. But Polly, you sense, has got this under control.
Yeah, last lap board is being shown to the drivers as they go past. 0.93 seconds now the gap between Polly and Dan Sylvester in 2nd place, number 37. So 36 on 37 and 63. Philip Wright in 3rd position. turning their way out of Druids for the final time, down to Graham Hill Bend once more. So half a lap to go here. If Polly makes a mistake, then certainly Sylvester and Wright are ready to pounce, but he's just got enough cars that he's not under direct attack from them. So
Dan Brown is up to net 5th.
Wow,
with the Integra. They're fantastic drive, and 3 abreast over the line in front of us here. Meanwhile, but here comes our leader.
Yeah, and about to become our race winner once again, 3rd time a winner this season. Ryan Polly, number 36, takes the checkered flag from number 37, Dan Sylvester, in 2nd place. In 3rd place, it's number 63, that's Philip Wright. The 3 of them covered by a second. They're confronted by a dusty scene at Paddock Hill Bend because one car's just gone off through the gravel but come out again the other side. A long gap back to 4th place, but that is going to go the way of Muslim. We've had a change in Class C right at the end, I think, Marcus.
Yeah, absolutely. That was Callum Perfect coming past Martin Paget on the line.
Yeah, and yes, they were separated by 3/100ths of a second, weren't they? So a great fight within Class C between number 65, who got the better of number 20, Martin Paget. So Callum Perfect becoming the 3rd different winner in Class C this season, and just over the line. About to go over the line, the 2 Class B leaders are together as well, and it is just going to be number 69, Matthew Mantapera. You could just see it on screen there, holding off number 57, Joel Arguelles, in 2nd place, and that's for the Class B victory. So 69 the winner there from 57, Joel Arguelles, and I think it's going to be Stuart Kennedy, 3rd.
That was just a length between the 2 different Renaults, different era Renaults.
Well, yeah, if you look at the Class A victory margin, it was 7/10. The Class B victory margin was 2/10 and 3/100ths in Class C. So
that'll do.
Evenly matched battles in all 3 classes. So great race there for the PBS Brakes Hot Hatch Championship. We'll hopefully be able to bring you the results of that on screen in just a moment. And there's another race for the Hot Hatches later on this afternoon. It's due off at around about 3:55. Both of the Hot Hatch races are today. There's no race for them tomorrow. We've got another 2 races to come up before the lunch break today, though. The 116 Sprint Series and the 120 Coupe Cup. That's a combined race. And the Takiwa Type R Trophy. That's going to be the 3rd of our races during the course of the day here at Brands Hatch, with another 8 to come after the lunch break as well. So the cars heading off into Parc Fermé at the end of the race. In fact, most of the cars, I think, heading straight back to the paddock. Hopefully we'll have stopped our class winners from the Hot Hatches to have a word with Josh Barrett, our roving reporter down there in the pit lane. We'll hopefully hear from him in just a few moments. As you can also see the cars for the next race waiting in the assembly area. So let's head down to the pit lane now, and we'll hear from Josh Barrett for the first time today.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, we're down here in Parc Fermé after that PBS Brakes Hot Hatch Championship, and it was Ryan Polly who took the victory. So let's head around here and grab a word with our race winner. Well done, Ryan. Quite a race that was with Dan. You managed to get through in sort of the middle of the race. Tell us about that.
Yeah, eventually it was a bit hard work. Danny was faster of the 2 of us, really. I think about 2 corners out of the whole track I was a bit better, but no, it turned out all right in the end. And
different cars, have they got strengths in different places?
Oh, definitely, yeah. You can tell through the corners that he's a much lighter, much more nimble car than an EP3, but no, it is what it is, isn't it?
And obviously enjoying the start of the season after the 2 wins at Donington and then continuing that here.
Yeah, I said I wasn't going to take it too seriously, really, but it's been a pretty good start to the year.
Well done, Ryan. Good luck later. So there's Ryan Polly, our winner. I think we've got Callum over here, who won Class C. Well done, Callum. That was quite a battle for you as well.
Yeah, can't believe it. First podium. Yeah, just can't believe it.
You managed to take it, I think, right on the line as well at the end.
Yeah, it was seconds between me and Paget.
Yeah.
And
and a busy circuit around here at Brands. You had the fast cars coming through, so I guess you had to use them around.
They come through just at the end, and they sort of put you off guard, and you just got to get through it and keep racing.
Well done. That's Callum Perfect, who won Class C. Let's see if we can get our Class B winners or our 2nd overall. Let's quickly grab a word with Danny Sylvester. Dan, you had a real battle there to try and win the race.
Yeah, it was good. Good racing with these 2 guys as per usual, yeah. Hectic. I got a right sweat on, but no, it was good. It's good fun.
And racing a front-wheel drive car now this year, how's that compared to the MR2 before?
Yeah, I'm still racing the MR2 as well, but it's vastly different. I'm really struggling with front grip, especially towards the end of that race, around the last corner. I was really struggling around paddock. Got some work to do on the car to develop it further, but yeah, so far so good.
Well done. And I don't think we've got a Class B winner yet, so let's have a quick word with Phil. Phil, you said to me earlier that the start would go very well. It didn't, but you caught these two pretty quickly.
Yeah, we tried something different and it really didn't work that time, but it's just it's mayhem out there with back markers around her. There's just nothing you can do. It's what it is.
Well, good luck.
We'll get the next one.
Good luck later. Don't think we've got our Class B winner. Car's coming up next, so the next race will be for the 1-1 Sprint and the 120 Coupe Cup.